Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely regret not being able to be with you today at this important Pacific Islands Conference on Nature Conservation and Protected Areas. I am grateful for this opportunity at least to speak to you through this video message. The Convention on Biological Diversity is founded on the understanding that the Earth's biological resources are vital to humanity's economic and social development. Nowhere is this clearer than in the Pacific Island states. Islands have especially fragile environments and high degree of endemic species. Island states often depend substantially more than others on healthy ecosystems and natural capital to provide livelihoods and subsistence for their inhabitants, and are more exposed to environmental and climate change-related disasters risks in rising sea levels. Despite, and perhaps even because of these challenges, island states are leading the way in recognizing the need to effectively conserve biodiversity and promote sustainable livelihoods. For example, a number of Pacific Island states are using innovative approaches for ecosystem protection and restoration through networks of protected areas and through payments for ecosystem services, such as payment for conservation efforts by the tourism industry. Pacific Island states have an enormous stake in ensuring that the world follows a path of sustainable development. Pacific Island states, known for the first-hand experience that sustainable development is the only kind of development that will ensure the long-term economic and social well-being, the creation of jobs and business opportunities, and a future for the generations to come. For the Pacific Islands, with the vast majority of people living in or near coastal areas and extensive areas located in the exclusive economic zones, there can be no truly green economic development without building a strong blue economy, one that makes sustainable use of its coastal and marine resources a priority. The strategic plan for biodiversity and its Aichi biodiversity targets are built on the fact that biodiversity is essential for economic development and for the human well-being. And the plan and targets recognize that many of the solutions for assuring the safeguard of biodiversity lie in mainstreaming biodiversity concerns into major sectors of our economy. Last year, at the meeting of the Conference of the Parties in Hyderabad, India, together with the Minister of Environment and Forest of India, I made a call for countries and stakeholders in the convention to become biodiversity champions by making concrete and objectively verifiable commitments towards the Aichi biodiversity targets. Pacific Island states have shown us the way, for example, through the Micronesia Challenge. Similar efforts have now been taken up in other parts of the world. Earlier this year, in the Caribbean, the 8 member states of the Caribbean Challenge Initiative positioned the next phase of their initiative as a pledge towards the Aichi biodiversity targets. I would like to call on the participants of this conference to follow suit in order to facilitate the scaling up and replication of this approach. A number of important opportunities for island states to raise the profile of the importance of biodiversity are taking place next year. First, the UN has designated 2014 as the International Year for Small Islands Development States. The Secretariat of the Convention on Biological Diversity has chosen the theme Island Biodiversity for the International Day for Biodiversity on May 22nd. The 3rd International Conference on Small Island Development States in Samoa in September 2014 will present another important opportunity for Pacific Island states to raise attention to the issues they are facing. In COP12 of the Convention on Biological Diversity, to be held in the Republic of Korea in October next year, will provide yet another venue to share the knowledge and vision that island states have gained through their own experiences. Finally, discussions in the United Nations on Sustainable Development Goals and a post-2015 development agenda are well underway, and I urge island states to make sure their voices are heard. I would like to acknowledge in this context the statement recently made by the Papua New Guinea on behalf of the Pacific SIDS to the Second Committee of the United Nations General Assembly on November 4th this year. I would like to end by pledging the full support of the Secretariat of the Convention on Biological Diversity to working with your governments, agencies, and various stakeholders to implement the necessary regional and sub-regional actions to support achievement of your commitments and the Aichi biodiversity targets. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a very successful conference.